What do you make of sort of the new elements that are ascendant in the America First movement, coated with a little anti-Semitism flavor in it, where it's the Jews are controlling our foreign policy, AIPAC's controlling us, the globalists, all these Jews in government?
We can name names: Candace Owens, Tucker, Carlson, and there's a lot of others. People
the suspicion of Jews,
who used to be in the mainstream of the conservative movement and are now on the anti-Semitic fringes of it. I mean, it's almost inevitable that the more irrational a culture becomes. And look, when Donald Trump was elected, this was inevitable. He is the bringer of irrationality to American politics, the bringer of chaos, the bringer of chaos, right? I mean,
bringer of irrationality. That's what I am.
It's good. There's a fantasy novel there to be written. He destroyed the Republican Party. The Republican Party is not the same party at all than it was 8 years ago, and it's much, much worse. It's certainly much, much worse on Israel, on Ukraine, on American foreign policy. Not that it was great before that, but now it's much worse. And it's bad on not wanting to free up the economy. It's bad on entitlements. It's bad on all the things that it should be good on. So it's not good on anything, right? The new Republican Party. It used to be the Republicans were at least a decent opposition party. Now, if you look at what the Republicans are doing in the House of Representatives, it's a party that's an absolute unmitigated disaster. So now we've got two parties that are unmitigated disasters. So, and maybe there's an opening for something new. But it's hard to imagine where it's going to come from. So yes, I think the fringe on the right has always been anti-Semitic. The fringe has expanded. It's grown. So it's not a fringe anymore. It's dabbling in. I mean, Tucker Carlson can't be viewed as fringe. He's got millions and millions of followers. And of course, the left has gotten much, much worse in terms of its anti-Semitism. And it's not the fringe in the left anymore. It's basically half of young people in America, hate Israel. So, on both sides, Israel and Jews more broadly are in trouble. And I don't see how this gets better, because I don't think the right is going to get better. The only reason anti-Semitism hasn't become full-fledged policy on the right is because evangelicals, for bizarre, irrational, ridiculous reasons, love Israel. And Donald Trump,
you're making no friends, Yaron.
Donald Trump needs the evangelical vote. I never make friends.
I hate you too. I hate you too. You're bad. You're bad. You settlement.
Overrated friends.
Friends.
I'm kidding.
A real individualist. Now.
I love friends, but I want my friends to share my values, not to be my enemies.
Do you think the term anti-Semitism, especially as coming off of the woke BLM anti-racist elements of our culture, gets thrown around too much, so that when we do see it, it can be very hard to identify, because it now becomes an excuse to cover for everything? I had a conversation with Candace Owens a few months ago, post October 7th. We spoke for about an hour, and a lot of what was revealed to me was that there was just simply a lot of lack of knowledge and ignorance to the issues that got confused and muddled, and she associated this charge of anti-Semitism with a sort of leftist cancel culture element. And I had to say, you're drawing the wrong conclusions here. That just because there's been a lot of elements on our side that call out racism where it doesn't exist, doesn't mean when we do see it, when it does exist, you don't call it out. I mean, this confusion about free speech and cancel culture. And now you're seeing there's been a lot of activity at the Daily Wire and drama and whatnot. But
I mean, since your conversation with Candace, obviously her views did not change, and she didn't moderate them. She didn't rethink a position or consider it in great depth, obviously, because she's become worse with time, not better.
We'll do a round two. We'll do a round two.
I mean, I don't know if Candace explicitly thinks in her mind Jews are horrible people. They should all be, wiped out. I don't think she holds that. But does she hold anti-Semitic ideas about Jews controlling X, Y, Z, and blaming Jews for the kind of their influence on?
There's a suspicion or something.
Yeah, I mean, look at what she said about Ben Shapiro, right? And the argument that she and Tucker Carlson made about Ben Shapiro caring more about Israel than the United States. Ben Shapiro has done so much. I mean, I oppose a lot of what Ben Shapiro stands for. But Ben Shapiro,
almost a real friend. No, you've been on the show.
Has done so much to advocate for certain freedoms and certain liberties in the United States. He's done so much for the, quote, right in the U.S. agree with
Still
him. or
true
disagree with him.
altruistic for you, but yes, I hear
Yeah,
you.
to claim that Ben Shapiro is anti-American in some way or doesn't care about America is so dishonest. And what would lead to that dishonesty? Only some tinge of anti-Semitism and
Dual loyalty. It's the old charge of the dual loyalty.
yeah,
thing.
dual loyalty was Dreyfus, right?
Yeah.
So they're bringing back the Dreyfus argument on somebody who has spent his career defending good ideas or some good ideas about America. So it's. I mean,
One has
it's
to wonder
horrible.
what's motivating it. Yeah.
Are they anti-Semitic? Yeah. Even, a lot of people are anti-Semitic without knowing it. A lot of people hold anti-Semitic ideas without completely hating all Jews and, again, wanting to be Nazis. I'm not
feed into a general. Either they might not hold the view in their heart, but they embolden those ideas that create suspicion about the Jew or Jews.
Yeah,
or certainly embolden anti-Semites out there who are suspicious of Jewish control or influence.
Yes. And some of them, like Candace Owens, just, if I can say so, just don't think. They don't use that gray matter. And she's very influenced by the people who follow her, and she's very influenced by certain people on the right. And she absorbs that stuff without really, any kind of critical assessment of it. And I see it on a lot of issues. What she said, the pharmaceutical companies in the United States are the most evil organizations in the world today. I mean, that's just insanity. So, Candace has a lot of problems. Being influenced by anti-Semitic ideas is one of several.
Okay. To be continued on that one.